Libra Sun Signs are people born between September 23rd and October 22nd. Libra is a Venusian zodiac sign, meaning it's ruled by the planet Venus, the planet that for us symbolizes love and beauty and harmony. Okay, it's harmonizing socially and harmonizing aesthetically, this type of thing. These are the pleasures of life. Now, even if you listen to the sounds, if you've ever had a chance to listen to the NASA sounds of the planets, pretty cool. Like the Venusian, you hear, they took the, I believe it was the electromagnetic spectrum that's around Venus, or that's whatever it's giving off, and they turned it into audible sound waves. And Venus has this beautiful, haunting sound. Almost like a siren, or, a mermaid. It's really beautiful. And Saturn has this really spooky, I'll have to post some videos on this. But at any rate, okay, so back to Libra. So with Libra, we've got, not only do we have the zodiac sign that's ruled by Venus, the planet has to do with harmonizing, you've also got the zodiac sign that falls right in the middle of our zodiac of 12 signs. You've got Libra's the 7th sign. So after you've moved through the first 6, which have to do a lot with personal development, you then move into 7 through 12, so Libra all the way through Pisces. These signs have to do with more so with our relating and the sort of energy, this back and forth with these people and the world around us, the wisdom of the world around us. And it starts with this Libran energy. Libra is the partnership, it's the harmonizing. The sign is, the scales, which is fine. I mean, all the air signs are the only zodiac signs that have a human being in each of the, as part of the symbolism, okay? So Libra is this air sign that of all the air signs is the most sort of, it's right in the middle. It's this neutral, I would say even of all of the zodiac signs, there's a neutrality to Libra. And many times when you see Libra placed on the different planets besides the sun, it's hard to see how it's expressed. It can be overwritten by other zodiac signs that are perhaps stronger. It's like this neutralizing energy that can kind of make everything come together and compromise. It's like the Benjamin Franklin of the zodiac in a way. Okay. Okay, but as far as love goes, this makes Librans are natural peacemakers. They don't really like to fight. It's not that they don't. It's not that they mind conflict so far, or it's not so much that they mind conflict, it's that they want to quickly get to a place of harmony and fairness. They want to have things return to a place of equanimity, balance, where everyone feels like their needs are being taken care of, okay, and no one's being cheated. That's a Libras don't like to see things, people being screwed. That brings out their opposite energy, which would be the Aryan side. That's all of us. All of our zodiac signs, our sun signs, hold the polar as well. So that will bring out that desire to fight in a Libra. With a high-functioning Libra, you've got someone who is diplomatic. They are a harmonizer. My kids' personal experience, or personal story, share this. I've got an Aries boy, a Taurus female, a Scorpio female, and a Libra female. Okay, my kids, my son and daughters. My Libra daughter, the youngest, has always been this sweetie. She's like the one that is just like easy and sweet and, on the surface socially has great social manners, even as a pretty little dancer, knows how to pose for pictures. Libra just has this Venusian quality. They've got this beauty to them, or this grace. And even if you've got I know plenty of Libras that aren't physically beautiful per se, but then they've also got this, they'll have this nature to them where they're good at harmonizing, whether it's in conversation or debate. They can sit and have a debate with you, but they can do it in such a way that you feel like you're not sure if you're laughing half the time, or are we debating, or there's a sociability and a harmonizing nature to Libra. Now, Libras also, you've got someone artistic, ruled by Venus, artistic in a different way, different from, like, let's say a Taurus, which is also a Venusian zodiac sign. Libra is going to be artistic. It's going to start with an idea. It's going to start with an idea that is in their head, and many times Libras like conceptual art, or if they were to be someone that liked graphic t-shirts, they would prefer ones that had words on them that conveyed a message, you know, like quotes and things like that. That's Libran. Libras love to read. They love to learn. They are trying to find the common ground in the world. So reading is something that many times is enjoyable for them. There is an androgyny to Libra, which is really interesting. Libran females many times feel, in my mind, all the Libran females that I know, they'll have an external thing that's, you know, feminine. That whether they're beautiful or not, there's a femininity to the way that they express externally. But then you get to know them and they're quite masculine. There can be a logical nature to the way that they think. They can even be detached in certain situations. They can have this impartiality to them where they'll look at the situation from a place of ration rather than a place of emotion. And that can be confusing to people because it's different than the way that they sort of appear on the outside. They call Librans, they say they're the iron fist in the velvet glove, and that's true. Librans, it's because of the coolness and the air that's in them. They can detach themselves from outcome. And so this makes them good, like negotiators, good counselors. They're good at getting two people to kind of come together and agree with one another and like, let's make this work. In my house, when I have the three older kids fighting with each other, it's my fourth, my youngest one, that goes and sits and is reading a book quietly. And it's like, guys, you need to be quiet. You're being really rude. Like, stop fighting. You know, that's a Libra. And so they're uncomfortable with situations where it's when it's irrational, when it's fighting. It's like, this makes no sense. Why are you fighting over this? This is stupid. That's Libra. Okay. And then the Libra men, they have more of a feminine quality. I was married to a Libra man, a wonderful man, married to him for 13 years. He's a good gift giver. And always, whenever he bought me a pair of shoes or boots, those were the things that all my girlfriends would be like, those are so cute. Where'd you get those? You know, and like, Travis got them for me, you know, of course, you know. And so with Libra men, they'll have many times this pleasant, if they're not straight up attractive, which is very common again for Libras and Venus types, they are charming. They're charming and they have this little smile to them and this great conversational energy. They love to talk and see what you think about things and they want to find out about you. And, you know, they can be a little vain. Libra men are known for that. Libra females too, both. They can be a little bit vain and don't enjoy getting older, but they'll fight it tooth and nail. But, you know, for the most part, Librans are, there's a diplomacy, a sweetness, and a kindness there, and they're great lovers. They're great at relationship. They want to find common ground and make things fair. With a low-functioning Libra, we've got someone who can be a little too vain. They can get a little shallow at times, and in their relationships even. Look at that moon. That's really important to take a peek at. Librans, hopefully, if they've got a nice earthy or watery moon or a moon that's in an earth or a watery house, it's going to give them more depth to their emotions. But they can be truly detached, and even in their romantic relationships, they can be in love with the idea of the relationship and, you know, the surface interaction with this other person, but perhaps lacking a deeper connection, and maybe even having a fantasy life in their head of this ideal lover, sort of like a Virgo in a way, but different. And taking pleasure in that place that's not even real. It's the idea of what love is rather than the actual partner. They can do that. They can be indecisive. That's many times because they're in the middle. The thought is, you know, that they're weighing all options and they're taking in many options instead of like, okay, let's take action now and move forward. I'm a Libra. I don't necessarily think that that's true. I think that, but I do have an Aries moon, so that's why that makes me, I can't stand indecision actually. But with a Libra, it's like they don't want to step on toes as well. So sometimes they feel when it's like making a decision, it takes them a second because like, if I do that, that might bother this person, or if I do that, you know, it might not be what I want. So they can be indecisive. They can also overly intellectualize their emotions. They can feel sad and not want to feel sad. And so then they'll, you know, want to talk about it and discuss it perhaps. but they will want to make it make sense, and they'll want to talk it away. They'll want to rationalize it. They won't really appreciate being seen as someone who is emo or having a moment where they're trapped or swept up in their emotions. That's not a place a Libra really likes to be. That's a place of extreme, right? The Libra wants to be kind of in the middle where they've got it all balanced and they're grounded. It's also, to me, the inner marriage, okay, between the masculine and the feminine is a strong sort of thing to think of when you think of a Libra. That's why you've got the androgyny between the male and female Libras. There's a strong sense of masculine and feminine. If it's a female, she's got a strong anima, masculine part to her, and if it's a male, he's going to have a strong I'm sorry, I just said that backwards. Female would be animus and male would be anima. My bad. So, but their inner masculine and feminine will be healthy and strong. Okay. So Libra's in love. Libra in love, this is the sign that rules relationship. Traditionally, it's the seventh house, it's partnership. To me, what's interesting is the seventh house is not a house that is like a smoldering, passionate house. It's a house of compromise and relating and finding harmony and finding balance. And these things are all quite rational and logical and make sense. Libra in love, first and foremost, they really do want to have a relationship that's peaceful and harmonious and pleasurable. If this is not enjoyable, why are we doing it? That doesn't make any sense to a Libra. If it's not enjoyable, I'm not going to do this anymore. This doesn't work for me. There is, again, that being in love with love. So searching for that elusive true love, and then having to settle with one partner can be difficult for an Aries, as it can be for many of the air signs, just because there's this high degree of sort of overthinking things. And with an Aries, a Libra, they're wanting that ideal thing they have in their head that may not be real. Okay, so Libra's expectations in love. Libra's expectations in love, again, they have this ideal of what they think partnership should be. They're looking for happiness in love. That is a primary driver of a Libra, would be relationship. Even if you've got a Libra, like John Mayer, for example, he's a Libra, and he's got some really interesting things in his birth chart. But at any rate, he's a great example of a Libra man who is like always in a relationship, but like always in a relationship, like lots of different relationships, right? So it's this, what's that called? The serial monogamist thing can be happening with a Libra. And also, I know he had that issue with pornography that he talked about, and that is the projection of the feminine, the projection of his very strong anima onto these women and objectifying. It's like he's making love to all these nymphs and making love to the divine feminine. That's pornography. So that can happen with Libra. I'm not saying the Librans are porn addicts or anything like that, but what I'm saying is there is this ideal of what the ideal masculine is and what the ideal feminine is. And so the Libra can sometimes just never be satisfied because you will never find someone who embodies all of those traits and characteristics in one entity. So that can be tricky. Just do your best as a partner of a Libra to keep things harmonious and fun. And they need new things to talk about. They love art, they love music. Librans love cultural experiences, museums, history, take them to see things. And they love food, restaurants, nice things. This is a Venusian sign, so they're going to appreciate the finer things in life. But they're quite refined. It's not typically a gaudy appreciation of material objects. It's more the refined appreciation, like a nice painting or a book, an antique book or something like that would be something a Libra would appreciate having in their life. And also these grand gestures, these expressions of romance. A Libra would love if you wrote them a love letter, if you put your thoughts into words or music or songs with lyrics that are meaningful. That's a Libra would appreciate that. Libra's biggest fear, and I say this as a Libra, twofold. It's quite interesting. To be seen as ugly, and this is not just physically ugly, this is ugly in all way, shape, and form, and to be seen as someone who's not intelligent. To them, that would be sort of the same thing. That would be being intellectually crude. So Libras appreciate harmony and beauty and they want to be seen as harmonious and beautiful in all ways, not just, again, not just physically or the way that they relate to you personally, but that just as a human being, they want to be seen as a refined version of what it means to be human. And they're Renaissance people. Libras are known because they're in the middle of the zodiac again. They have their feelers kind of in everything. They can relate to all different types of people because they're sort of that neutral energy in the middle. So they're also interested in a lot of different things, and they have a lot of disparate interests. So they feel sometimes just like a Gemini, that same sense of maybe I'm not that deep because I have all these diversive interests instead of being epistemic with something. You know, I'm curious about all these things instead of, you know, just one thing. And, you know, just let the Libra know that they're okay and they're just great the way that they are, and encourage their many interests because it's not going to change. It's just how they're built. And talk to them, have conversation with them about them, and bring them, give your Libra a painting. They'll love that. If you're interested, if you really want to find out about the compatibility between you and your partner, you need to have an astrology reading done with an astrologer. The computerized reports are really cool, and you can order some great ones on astro.com. They're great for giving you an initial sort of step into the compatibility between two people and learning about synastry, but there is nothing like an astrologer going over your charts, because we look at first the individuals and we look at the synastry together, the chemistry between the two people, which is very complex. I mean, we're looking at hundreds of thousands of possible, I mean, really, there's probably millions of possibilities when we look at the synastry between two people. But we are focusing it on, you know, these areas that are important and relative to romance and romantic compatibility, which a computer can't do. A computer is just databases of, you know, aspects between two people, right? An astrologer takes these aspects, the zodiac signs they're in, the houses that they're in, sees all these patterns, this inner working, this mechanization of these two charts together, these two humans, these two blueprints, how they lock and key fit. And the astrologer is able to make some deductions that are much more enlightening than what you would see from a computerized report. So computerized reports are great. They're a good place to start, but most of them cost like 40, 50 bucks. You can get a reading with an astrologer. It takes 90 minutes where you can record it and listen to it over and over again. $189 is what I charge for my relationship readings. If you're interested in that, give me an inbox. You can go to my website. You can actually book an appointment right on my website yourself, get it all taken care of without even having to message me first. I've got my schedule up there. So very easy and a lot of fun. You can do it via Skype or telephone or in person if you're here in Utah. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful for you, and share with your friends. Subscribe to the channel if you like it. I try to get stuff up regularly because it's my passion to share astrology with as many people as possible. So thank you so much, and see you soon.